Hi, welcome back. In this video, we will learn about the CSS transition property. Okay, so I have opened the documentation on MDN and here it is saying the transition CSS property is a shorthand property for transition property, transition duration, transition timing function, transition delay, and transition behavior. So this is the syntax basically. As you can see, here it is. So we will just first learn about this particular syntax, which is basically using the transition property and the transition duration. Okay, then we have all of the other things which we will cover in the upcoming videos. Okay, all right, so what we have a blank HTML file. Basically we have only the h1 here. So what I'll do, I'll create a button. So button.ptn. Okay, and here I'll do click me, something like that. Okay, and what I'll do, I'll style this button. So let's style the button. So dot ptn and do a border of 2 pixels solid, and let's do black. Okay, outline of none, background color of something like white. Okay, and color of black. And then what we can do, we can have a padding of top and bottom of 1 rem and left and right of 2 rem, and font size of, let's say, 2 rem. Okay, and let's save that and go to the browser. So here is our button. Okay, nothing fancy. So what I want to do, whenever we are hovering this button, then I want to change the background color of this button. Okay, so how we can do that? So I'll open the DevTools as well. Okay, so how we can do that? So we have learned about that, the hover pseudo class. Okay, so dot btn colon hover. Okay, and then what we can do, we can do a background color of our favorite one, blue violet. Okay, save. And now if I go here, so if I hover to this button currently right now, what is happening, we are having this particular blue violet color, but there is no transition. It is instantaneous, right? There is no delay or something like that. So how we can do that? So we can do that by using the transition CSS property. So I can do transition. Okay, and then which property I want to transition, right? So I want to transition the background color. And then what should be the duration of the transition? Let's do 0.5 second or 0.6 second. Okay, hit save and go here. As you can see, now the color is transitioning and the duration of the transition is 0.6 second. And if the recording is not picking up that much transition, so let me just do it something like 6 seconds. Okay, so if I now hover over the 6 second, it will transition to the blue violet color, and then when I let go, then over the 6 second it will transition to that particular color. Okay, and also inside of the DevTools as well, you are able to see the transition, right? The background color, how it is changing, right? It is changing there, and transition is complete. And then if I just let go, it is changing, and then after some time, the transition is complete once again. Okay, now this is the basic transition property. So you might be thinking, okay, I can transition from this btn class, but what happens if I just add the transition? Okay, add this transition to this hover pseudo class. What will happen? So let us find out. So if I now hover over this button, it is taking 6 seconds to change the background color. Okay, now if I just let go, it is now instantaneous. So if we add the transition inside of the hover, then the transition will happen only while hovering over. If we let go from the particular element, then the change will be instantaneous. So I will just cut that and I will just paste it down here. So this is basic transition property in CSS.